first change that takes place is in your mind. You have to change your mind before you change the way you live and the way you move.
Welcome back to another episode of Voice Visions Presents. I am Voice of G, and I am here with Godligifts. Man, what an episode this is going to be. I'm so happy to have you here. How you doing today, bro?
Hey, appreciate the all as well. Appreciate the how you holding on, my guy.
Everything's good. Just got a parking ticket, but that's okay. I won't charge you. That's on me. I gotta take care of business. But other than that, everything is good, man.
Unfortunately, goddamn, my bad. That shit sound crazy though. Mm-hmm.
That's all right, man. So what's up, man? We're 6 months into the year already. I know we've already been chopping it up on some of the music that you've already dropped.
Yeah.
You know, like Believe Me, Faith. And you kind of previewed already some music you're going to drop. But tell us what to expect for the next 6 months from this year.
For the next 6 months, just know it's hard work, like a real hard work. I've been trying to get things in order. Mm-hmm. You know, I honestly appreciate you for even having me on here.
Yeah, of course.
You know what I mean? So it's not easy, especially being in this situation. You know what I mean? But trust me, it's a lot of work that we got going on. It's a lot of work. I got a whole project coming out. It's called Trust the Process. That's coming out soon too as well. So I'm trying to basically drop some singles to preview what I got to showcase. You know what I mean?
Love that. I love that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. And we were talking about some of those mixes that are getting ready, and one thing I appreciate about you is because sometimes I'll interview certain people, and the day of the interview is the first time I actually get to meet them.
Oh, wow.
Which is some people are different. It is what it is. But yourself, you went out of your way to call me at 9 a.m. to really chop it up, to really get to know each other before. So I do appreciate that, those conversations. And then part of that conversation, you did tell me some of the artists that you like listening to, like Polo G, Rod Wave. And so are those the artists that really inspire you? Is there anybody that maybe I'm missing on the list that inspire you?
For sure. I do rock with Gates a lot.
Okay.
Yeah, I rock with Gates a lot. Kevin Gates.
Mm-hmm.
So a whole lot of artists, but when you're going through different phases and different time, you will just go on your phone. Hey, let me jam to this person real quick just to keep me going. You know what I mean? Yeah. Especially like with Raw Wave too. We go hard. Polo G go hard. Gates keep it going. Oh. You know what I mean? So I appreciate a lot of different perspective on music.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's not always about, I want to get mad or, you know what I mean? It's not always about that, right? Yeah. It's not all about drill, but, when that time comes, the time comes, you know what I mean? Yeah. So I do listen to a few other artists as well. Mm-hmm. But, them guys I do jam too.
Fire.
And especially Kodak too,
Kodak Black. Yeah, definitely. Shout out to the hometown hero.
Yeah, hometown, for sure.
Yeah, South Florida.
Yeah.
But tell me about the process. You gave me a list of questions, things that you wanted me to touch upon. So I do appreciate that as well. But,
sure.
Your music is really, really like introspective, like the struggle, the pain, things that you kind of been going through. Not that you have to be specific about details and everything, but would you say like that pain or that struggle has kind of made you not just the artist that you are, but the person that you are?
Honestly, yeah, definitely though. Like coming from where I'm from, having like a single mother, growing up with a single mother, you know what I mean? And father wasn't around, had nobody to be around. Like I had no guidance really, so I had to man up and get it and do what I had to do. But was it easy growing up? Nah, it wasn't easy. It was very difficult, you know what I mean? But throughout that process, this is why I call it trusting the process. Yes. So that's why I call the album Trust the Process, because the process is basically, my trials and tribulations, you know what I mean? And it was difficult. It was really difficult growing up, being in the streets. And then from that, I got older. And thank God I had a few good friends to keep me in line and stuff like that, But at the same time, I also had to make sure, like, okay, if something happened to me now, what would happen to my family? You know what I mean? So I had to make sure I had to, stay focused. It's a thin road between, life and jail and situations like that. Yeah. So I had to make sure, I step, accordingly, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't end up, being in the wrong places. But the process that I had to go through to get here, I'm very I can say like I'm happy who I am right now, but I know it's like it's more growth. You know what I mean? That's what I'm always reaching for is more growth.
More growth.
Yeah, it was difficult, man. It was tough.
You know, I was listening to the two songs you shared with me, you know, Faith and Believe Me, and I feel like obviously with the names they're related, but when you listen to the lyrics, they're very much related because I feel like Believe Me, you're telling the story of how people didn't believe in you.
Facts.
Faith, and I mean, tell me if I'm wrong, this is what I picked up, is the faith in yourself. So more of like inside rather than outside.
Facts.
But you tell me if I'm wrong.
No, you're absolutely correct with Faith. I had that song since I was like 16.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So when I had the opportunity to even drop it, like I was real young writing lyrics, you know what I mean? So it goes, gotta have faith. Sometimes I don't pray, knowing that I'm doing wrong. Won't fold, won't break, came from a long way. I had to do it on my own. I'm independent, you know what I mean? So just that song itself means a lot to me because, you know, I called up a friend of mine like, yo, I need to go to the booth, but he had the booth in his closet, like we always start off, you know what I mean?
Yes, sir, yeah.
So when I dropped that song, it meant a lot to me, the fact that I was able to actually really drop a song the way I want to do it and learn the process on creating music and releasing music itself, you know what I mean? So faith does play a big part, you know, yeah, facts.
Yeah, that's definitely something I could relate to. I personally grew up in a, you know, very like Christian church, going parents and that whole environment. And you know, I still definitely have my beliefs. I thank God my wife and I finally found a church to go to. We kind of been slacking on that, but we found a church in our area in Orlando, so we've been going. And what I do like, you know, not to turn into a huge spiritual conversation, but is that at least from my experience, the Bible does talk about grace and does talk about just something else that is coming up with your music, is having that grace even though you're doing wrong, right?
Yeah, facts.
It's kind of like your parents, you know, like your loving mother that she knows that maybe you're struggling with certain things, but she's always gonna have that love for you. So that's really important. Man.
Yeah, facts. I agree. You know, having faith as well is like, from the moment you lose faith, it's over with. You won't want to move. You won't want to proceed at all. So you gotta have faith. You know what I mean? That's like the foundation of like you know, where you want to make it in life. It's like hope. From the moment you lose hope, it's over with. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So without hope, it's like I think the word goes, faith is it's like believing in something that you can't see. You know, that's how I look at it.
Now, you know, I did want to just touch upon, you know, you have your, I would say inability to see, but obviously it's not a disability because you're able to maneuver around that. I mean, clearly, obviously, but what have you learned in that process, you know, in life? Maybe you might not be able to see, but, you know, how do you navigate, not just the world or on the street, you know, physically, but in life? Like, do you feel that maybe in a sense it is kind of an advantage because you're not distracted as much? Or
it's a great question.
How do you go about that?
And it goes back to the song "Believe Me." Like, believe it or not, I wouldn't thought I would be here right now because it goes. It's a very like, how can I say it? I can't say a touchy feeling because I got over that process. That's why I'm here right now, right?
Yeah.
But to be able to go through what I've been through and still be here, you know, it's a different perspective type of thing.
Yeah.
I see the world from a different perspective. The way you see it, I don't see it like that. You get where I'm coming from, whether it's physically or spiritually, no matter how you put it. I'm really seeing the world from a different perspective.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it was definitely a challenge though, bro. It was a challenge.
Yeah.
Like not even able to, like, not being able to see your face in the mirror.
Yeah.
It's different. It's serious, you know what I mean? Trying to look at your reflection, you can't see it, you know what I mean? But you see your reflection in others, if that makes sense, you know what I mean? So just that process coming from one, like, thinking about suicide, and then from from saying, okay, if I were to do this to myself, I can't help my mama. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I had to make sure, like, okay, mom know what's up. Like, it'd be days that she would walk inside the house and it would be pitch black. She would be like, what's going on? Why you not watching TV? I'd be like, I can't see the TV. You know what I mean? I can't see the light. So it was like, I had to move from that phase to, okay, you know what? I'm here now. What's next? You know, what do I do next? You know, even though I'm in this situation, you know, at that point, it was a wake up call, because to have great friends around me and great, you know, people that always push me and say, okay, yo, you can do it. No matter what you're going through, you can do it. And then as day goes by, as month goes by, I started to get better. I went to school. I tried to make sure, like, okay, I went to school. It was difficult, even wanting to go to school to rehabilitate and be able to live in society like the way we're living in. Yeah, I might not be able to drive, but I got a chauffeur. You know what I mean? So it's a different feeling. It can be annoying sometimes, but you know, it's a part of life. I took it and I ran with it. You know what I mean?
No, it's definitely a wonderful perspective to have. And this month, you know, we do have Pride Month, but also it's Men's Mental Health Month. So that's another reason why I wanted to do, you know, these podcasts. We were just chopping it up with Ricky about mental health, how he kind of navigates the world and his life through that. But how do you, I guess, in that process, it's a positive thing now, right? But when it comes to mental health, how do you cope? Is it music, or is it, you know, how do you cope with making sure that your mental health is healthy?
Mentally, it's like certain people will go through hell, right? They'll go through that dark spot and never come out. But I was living in that dark spot for a long time. You know what I mean? So I had to imagine living in that dark spot and not being able to see the light. You know what I mean? So it's a perspective type of thing. You feel me? So it's like not being able to see the light, but then yet in my situation right now, I'm still able to see the light. It's different because we go through it mentally. Yeah. No matter what you go through, you're gonna go through it mentally. You know, in life, I feel like there's a phase that you're gonna have to go through, whether it breaks you or whether it makes you. So I feel like mental health plays a big role on where you want to be in life itself. You know, and it's good to. A lot of us let our background or our environment take control of us, right?
That's true.
But from the moment I can make a product of my environment. Doesn't mean I have to be a product of my environment. You get where I'm coming from?
Okay.
You know, so.
It's a bar. I'm gonna write that one down. That's dope.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, so, you know, we deal with a lot of challenges. You know, especially the type of time that we're living in, where it's like a lot of people judging you. You know what I mean? And it's hard for you to see where you want to go if you basically, it's hard to see where you want to go when you in a place where it seems like there's nowhere to go. Okay. You get where I'm coming from? But mental health, I do, you know, it plays a big role in my life because mentally I was gone. Mentally I was broken. Life done broke me down to the point I had to build myself back up. You know what I mean? Yeah, like life broke me. Like it really broke me. So I had to get back up. And what did I do throughout that time? Writing music. From writing music just to sitting down, meditating. Okay, thinking about where do I want to be in life. And that plays its role. I love to write music. My father makes music. My little brothers make music. You know what I mean? So it kind of run through the family. So that's what I use to cope. I write music. I came to a point where I was so focused on mental health that I wrote a book.
That's right.
So the book is called The Fury of a Blind Visionist. You know what I mean? I didn't even want to talk about that topic, but so it's The Fury of a Blind Visionist, where I speak about what I've been through, you know, what I had to do just to get here where I'm at right now. And like I said, I had the fights. You know, I was fighting real demons for real. Yeah. Suicidal thoughts. Like it was traumatizing. You know, just to even think about it, just flashback memories. But I'm healing over that right now.
And that book, is it out? It's going to come out?
Oh yeah, the book is coming out in a few months. So
okay.
The Fury of a Blind Visionist is coming out too. So mentally, I was broken, right? But then I had to rebuild myself to the point that I'm like, how can I help, or what can I do for myself? So I started writing a book, like telling writing my story, my own story in my own hands. I'm writing it. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I do. How can I say this? Like, I do care about mental health. I think that's what we all need. You know what I mean? Whether it's therapy, someone to speak to. You know, you can't do everything alone.
That's true. That's true. And we were, one of the conversations that we had for today, of course, was our partner. And like I have my wife, you know, just got married a few months ago.
Congrats.
You have your partner in your life, and they help us. I mean, sometimes you think like, man, without you, where would I be? Excuse me. Yeah, where would I be? Like, if I didn't have you, that's a deep question too.
You know, I was in a car one time, and then some guy asked me, he was like, okay, how would you know she's the right person? Or how do you know, like, how are you even able to see her? That's like, I had to think about it. But we see, like, a lot of us are looking at physical attraction.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it's different when you can't see it. You know, it's like, I can see through you. You know what I mean? It's a different way that you can, how can I say it? Like, it's like you're looking at somebody, but it's like you still seeing through them and knowing like, okay, I can see your flaws. I can see where you can improve it. So when I met my shorty, it's not easy finding someone in this type of timing that's there for you. You know what I mean? That cares, you know, that cares for you. So it plays a big role to have someone that you can lean back on. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
Like, you can close your eyes and be like, yo, I'm straight. I can trust you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? My heart is in your hands. But at the same time, you know, as people, we always on that defense mode.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes you want to go home and just be like, babe, this is what happened today.
Yeah.
You know, this is what's going on, you know, or I want to laugh. You know, you're going to always have that one person. But nowadays, it's not easy finding that one person. And the thing is, though, when we do find that one person, we're so picky. You know what I mean? It's just like, you're so picky trying to find that right person. And it wouldn't make no sense because it's like, everybody needs help.
Yeah, it's true.
Everybody needs help. So it's like, appreciate them for who they are.
Yeah.
You know, that's how I see it. It's just, you know, everybody can work on it. It's up to you to deal with that person. Yeah. It's up to you, but it's also, hey, you can help this person too. You know what I mean? She can help you the same way you can help her, and you both grow. Yeah. You know what I mean? So that's how I see it.
Thank you, bro, for taking the time. And as we're wrapping it up, I have another question for you. Obviously, we have a project coming out. You have a book coming out. But what is your end goal, I guess, either with the book or the music, but with your art? What is your end goal?
My end goal, the way I'm trying to hit the world. My music speaks for itself. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm writing my story, and every single thing I say in my songs is true. There's no lies. You know what I mean? It's straight facts. I'm speaking about reality.
Yeah.
I'm speaking about what we go through every day on a daily basis. I'm speaking about what I go through, and I know that you can relate because you're going through the same situation as well. You know what I mean? So, and also with my book, I'm trying to basically show you like, hey, I've been through this. Yeah. To the point I had to write it down so you can see it. You know what I mean? I can't see, but you can see it. So
to experience.
Yeah, to experience, to have that feeling. You know, to know like, okay, this is what he's been through. If he's going through that, what's stopping me? You know what I mean? So I'm not saying it's not an excuse type of thing, but again, we still need people to push us. Yeah. You know, sometimes it's hard to see the light that's within you. Other people gotta see it for you.
That's true.
And then when you do grasp that light, it's like execution time. You know what I mean? So the way I'm trying to hit the world is like, okay, this is my story. What can you get from this? I'm not looking to be no leader or nothing like that. But I'm just trying to show you like, hey, if I can do it, you can do it too. That's like really my main goal. Like, so I had to create my own record label, The Fury of a Blind Visionist. That also speaks, it speaks for itself. You know what I mean? I'm sorry. My record label is called The Optimistic Visions. Okay. Having, not being able to see, but still being able to see the future where it'll be successful. You know what I mean? So with that, of that being said, it's kind of everything where my music is coming out. I have my book, I have my merch coming out too as well. If I'm doing it, it's nothing that's stopping you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's how I see it.
I love it, bro. I see the vision.
Yeah, fast. Appreciate that.
But yeah, thank you for obviously providing the space, and then of course, is there any shout outs that you want to give before we go ahead and head out?
Jeez, if I shout out, it'd be a lot of people. But yeah, shout out to my moms for sure. You know, God basically he made a way for us. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And I gotta keep going. Shout out to my mom. Shout out to gang, know who it is. You know, shout out to the family.
Yeah.
You know, shout out to if I write a list, it'll be a whole list. But yeah, shout out to the fam. Yeah. You know, shout out to Brodem. You know, we definitely got a lot going on. Just I hope everybody stay tuned. You know what I mean?
And where can people find you on social media?
You can find me on Instagram, Godligifts, GODLIGIFTS. I'm on Spotify, you know, YouTube. I'm on all the platforms. Just take your time out and give it a look. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely tap in.
Tap in for sure.
All summer.
All summer, all year.
All year.
We
all decade.
We keep it going.
All millenniums.
Yeah, we keeping it going.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right. Thank you so much for being part of the show. And you guys definitely tap in. He's got the book. He's got projects coming out. Stay tuned. Tap in. And follow him on all platforms.
Hey, for sure. Tap in. Let's do it.
All right, you guys have a good night.
First change that takes place is in your mind. You have to change your mind before